officially my due date and also my birthday, which is kind of cool. I don't think the baby's coming today, although there have been signs of labor. I think I'm having contractions, but it's hard to tell in the beginning. Anyway, we finished this Nursery Nook just in the nick of time, literally yesterday. Got all the little final finishing touches on, and I'm so excited to share our Nursery Nook with you. The Nursery Nook will eventually get tied into our bedroom makeover, which is coming eventually. You know, I'm about to have a baby, so I'm excited to walk you through my design process. I'm gonna take you from the planning phase to the execution and then the final reveal, which I am really excited about the results. So let's jump into it. If you've seen my last video, you know that I recently refinished an old vintage dresser to use as our baby changing station in our bedroom, which I decided to paint this vibrant olive green color. This piece of furniture will be a jumping off point for the mood board and color palette direction, and then I'll build the rest of the palette using some of our existing bedroom elements like the duvet cover, sheets, rugs, and artwork. We currently have accent colors of dark blue, warm, deep, sort of terracotta red, dusty pink, and then some more natural earth tones from rattan and wood furniture items. I started by searching for images that use most, or if possible, all of these colors in a fun yet sophisticated way. I want our bedroom as a whole to just be cozy and anchored with more earth tones rather than like the bright, brilliant colors that I'm typically drawn to. And this means that the Nursery Nook will also be, you know, a little more adult. Once I've got a curated selection of inspiration images, I like to go a step further and create a rough collage of all of the different elements of our bedroom design, which usually looks a little something like this. I find this step to be really helpful because I personally have a hard time jumping from an inspiration image straight to selecting and buying elements for a space. There's just a bit of a disconnect for me there, so this is sort of an in-between step that I find really helpful. After I nailed down the inspiration and mood board, I moved on to space planning and furniture placement. For the Nursery Nook, I knew I wanted the dresser to be on this main wall, and I wanted to have some type of shelf and clothing rod above it where I could hang baby clothes, place her changing pad, store diapers, and basically house all of her belongings in a functional and easy to access location. For me, visualization is key, so I like to take a roll of painter's tape and just tape out the location of the various elements I'm considering. So in this case, it's the shelf, the clothing rod, a small mirror, and a sconce. Using the tape like this allows me to experiment with different layouts, and it also helps work out the dimensions of each element, which helps when you go to purchase and look for these different pieces of decor for your space. So now that I've taped everything out and I'm happy with the placement, I can start looking for the various elements that I'll need, whether that's on Facebook Marketplace, a store, or perhaps building something custom. It's just super helpful in general. That's my pro tip for space planning. Next comes the paint. I hate gray walls. And I knew that I needed to change the wall color in our room if I wanted a more cozy and inviting space. So I decided to go with this really beautiful warm white color from Benjamin Moore. It's called Adobe White. It's honestly a little more pink than I was anticipating, but given that pink is one of my favorite colors, it doesn't really bother me at all. And if you look back at our inspiration images, we have proof of concept that it works well with the rest of our desired palette, so I'm pretty thrilled with the way it turned out, and I think it completely warmed up that space. So once the paint was applied, I moved on to thinking about the window treatments. I'm not sure what possessed me to take on this DIY project in the rush of pulling this nursery together while 38 weeks pregnant, but lo and behold, here we were. Using that bedroom collage that I put together previously, I knew that I wanted the curtains to be in the terracotta, orangey, brick red color family, and I just happened to have a set of linen sheets in this color. So instead of going out and buying new linen curtains, which can be very expensive, even the cheap ones, I just decided to use what I had on hand. But I couldn't just stop at the solid color linens. No. I really wanted to zhuzh them up a bit and add some type of pattern to help bring in dimensionality and visual interest. You know, we have a lot of solid colors in this space right now, not a lot of pattern going on. So I thought the curtains could be a fun place to bring in some pattern. I've been toying with the idea of using bleach to create patterns in fabric. I personally love that peachy pink color you get when you accidentally bleach a colored fabric. You know what I'm talking about. I also knew I wanted some type of stripe pattern on the curtains, and I just began searching ways to create stripes on fabric with bleach. And I found a technique that felt doable for me, and I just decided to go for it. I'm considering creating a video just to showcase this technique and show you the full process, but for now, here's a little snippet of the process. And I was pretty jazzed with the end results. At first, I was a little worried that the tie-dye might lean a little too heavily into the college dorm room tapestry zone, but once I installed them and started styling the rest of the space, they grew on me. The plan is to eventually replace these blinds that we have currently, which are just like kind of old school wooden blinds. To me, they really date the space. The plan is to replace those with bamboo shades. I'm thinking a lighter bamboo, something like this. But for the sake of time and budget, we're just rolling with what we have right now. Next up was finding the perfect shelf to install above the dresser, and this was a lot more challenging than I had anticipated. Since I had mapped out the ideal shelf dimensions with painter's tape, I had a rough idea of what I was looking for, and so I scoured Facebook Marketplace, IKEA, thrift stores, yard sales for the perfect, or at least like a workable shelf that I could modify. I thought I'd be able to find something off the shelf, no pun intended, that I could then modify to fit our needs. But after days of searching, I was left to consider building something custom. Again, what's wrong with me? Apparently, taking on too many projects before a big life event is my favorite coping mechanism. So here we are. But at least it's a productive one, right? I came up with a fairly simple shelf design that incorporates a clothes hanging rod and plenty of flat storage space above for baskets, bins, books, etc. With Ian's help, he did all of the wood cuts for me. I was able to knock this shelf out in a couple of days. I decided to paint it the same color as our bedroom walls, that adobe white, to make it feel a little more like a built-in and less like a tacked on piece of furniture. And then I decided to add a little bit of embellishment using this slightly darker pink paint that I just happen to have on hand. I am totally obsessed with the way it turned out and am happy that I decided to take that little extra time to create something special for our little girl. So once the shelf was installed, it was time to pull everything together. Here as a placeholder for our changing pad. We do have a changing pad, but I don't have, what do you call it? Covers for it in the colors that I want yet. So this is like a placeholder just to see if this color works. I'm gonna scoot it over. This is where it will live. I purchased a cute little squiggly framed mirror. I want to do a mirror right above the changing pads so that when the baby's a little bit older, they can check themselves out, you know, explore their worlds through the mirror. So this will live right here. So I'm gonna hang that up. And then I need to decide if I'm going to hang this mobile. I had this mobile for Poppy. I love it. Can you see that? Adorable little knit zoo animals. So I'm trying to decide if I want to hang this here for baby to look at while she's being changed. TBD. I don't want to do too much in this area because I also plan, like we discussed, having a sconce here. So the mobile may or may not get to live. We'll see. Okay, this is really annoying. The mirror that I bought, not only did it not come with hanging hardware, you know, like the wall anchors and the screws, which fine. I've got all that stuff, got plenty of that. It would have been nice to just have it right here. But this was the mounting hardware on the back of the mirror, which to me feels woefully inadequate for hanging above a baby. For now, just putting this out there, for now, I'm gonna put a little nail in the wall. I'm gonna hang it on this joke of a hanger for looks, for the video. But please trust that Ian and I will come in and anchor this bad boy to the wall appropriately before we change a baby on this table. But for now, it's getting a nail. This is the idea. So cute. Way too bright. And that's it, y'all. Like I said, I'm really pleased with the way everything turned out. With every design project, there's always some things that I would tweak and change. If we had more time, if I wasn't literally about to go into labor, I would add things, subtract things, maybe change the palette just a hair, just to hit those notes on the mood board, which I think we will eventually do once we get into the bedroom makeover. That's gonna be another video. So I hope you'll stick around as the journey continues. We're gonna be making over this house, lots of DIY projects, maybe some vlogs sprinkled in. I don't know. We'll see what we can do with the newborn baby in tow. But until then, I'll see you next time with the wee baby. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye-bye.